You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast.
Lots of ping pong balls. I had an idea where we write down a crossover on a ping pong ball, put it in the box, and then we randomly pick one out and do an episode about it. And I thought, what if we do a podcast episode about a crossover?
And now, your hosts, Michael, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Welcome to the Crossroads. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I am Seth. I can't think of any good Magnum
Seth
names.
P.I.
Yeah.
Murder She Cliffed. Wait.
Murder She Cliff. She used the Cliff Notes to write those mysteries.
We are doing a crossover episode. We've done a few of these in the past, and no matter the subject, we always tend to enjoy it.
Yep.
When two pop culture phenomenons cross over with each other, it just makes magic, and we love talking about it. So which crossover are we doing tonight? What got pulled out on the magic ping pong ball?
The ping pong ball was the crossover between Magnum P.I., not the new reboot, the 80s version, Tom Selleck, and Murder, She Wrote, Angela Lansbury version, Cabot Cove. And a little crossover murder mystery, as per you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just discussing our experience with these series. I was saying that my mom watched these shows, and I would sit and watch some Magnum with her, a little bit of Murder, She Wrote. I've seen my share of Murder, She Wrote. There wasn't any Tom Bosley in this. Wasn't he on Murder, She Wrote? Was he on there?
I think he was. Yeah, a regular character on Murder, She Wrote.
Must have been later on, because the one cop that was in these episodes, I think he's usually on Murder, She Wrote. But he crossed over here to Magnum. But
Yeah, so
what about you guys?
This is season 7 of Magnum, so it had already probably burned down Arnold's a little bit.
Yeah.
But just season 3 of Murder, She Wrote, which it went on, I think, 12 seasons. So Murder, She Wrote was just getting started. Magnum was already kind of long in the tooth. So, yeah, same thing. My mom loved Magnum P.I., loved Tom Selleck. We didn't watch Murder, She Wrote. We didn't watch Murder, She Wrote too much, but I remember watching Magnum quite a bit. And have watched it in my adult years. I've gone back and watched, not a ton, but I'll catch it here and there and still enjoy it.
We have said that it's one of the great, like, you pushed pretty hard on the theme song. You were willing to let it go all the way if we'd have let you have it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you were very hyped on the theme song. It's a good one.
Actually, watching Murder, She Wrote, I thought this is a pretty good theme.
That's
song
exactly
too.
what I was getting ready to ask you.
I don't think it was on our list.
I don't think
really
it was, and I think it should have been. It's a good one. Should have been there. Considering we had 140 entries, it really should have been there.
Boy, you really dropped the ball on that one.
We could have had a play-in. There was room for another play-in. Oh.
Wow.
Regrets. I've had a few.
Picture it. It's November 1986.
Yes.
You're watching Magnum P.I. one night. A couple nights later, Murder, She Wrote. It's crossing over, and we're going to get into it. Are we going? How deep are we going into this? Because it's not very good.
It's inch deep, mile wide here. Let's see. We start off on the Magnum episode. What was the name of the Magnum episode?
Novel Connection, season 7, episode 9. And I'm not sure. Is this streaming? I didn't find it streaming anywhere. I happened to catch it on Hallmark, this Hallmark spinoff channel. I DVR'd it one morning at 6 a.m. I actually happened to find the right channel, so that's where I.
Yeah, it's currently on. If you have a Roku device or a Roku television, you can watch it on the Roku channel. Every season of Magnum P.I. for free.
Oh, sweet.
I went ahead and I did not have the Roku channel. I just watched, bought that episode on Prime, and the Murder, She Wrote was free on
Peacock.
Tubi or something on mine. I don't know. It's Amazon TV. I don't know what it made me watch it on, but it was free.
It was free on Peacock until literally like 2 nights ago.
Oh, I just watched it today, so
because I sat down to watch. I knew when I looked it up, it said 27 days left when we were talking about doing this, and then I'm like, I watched Magnum. I'm like, do I really want to watch both of them tonight? I guess I better. And I sat down and I went to Peacock for the first time probably since I downloaded it, and it said 4 hours left. I watched it with 4 hours to spare on Peacock.
Nice. Wow. Sweet move. So Novel Connection. It was so bad. So they're Higgins picked up these women at the airport, I guess, and I don't know I still don't know who they were.
Well, it was the lady that was married to John Candy in The Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other lady was.
You're right.
Jessica
You're right.
Walter.
I recognize her. Then we had Jessica Walter, which was great. I was instantly like, all right. We've got at least somebody in here that we know, But the other lady that was like got a lot of screen time that was she was super annoying. Just like a waste of space. A lot of jibber jabber that they didn't ever accomplish anything. They basically just trolled Magnum.
Yeah. Pamela, for the first Joan, and Amy were the 3 women, and I couldn't tell them. I didn't know.
I don't know which was
the plot
Joan.
I
think Joan was Jessica, but they just trolled Magnum for the first half hour, just like what he was. Just leave. We don't need you to investigate. We have an investigator coming. It's all this setup for bringing Angela Lansbury, Jessica,
and of course,
in,
him saying, "Who is he?
Yeah.
Is he any good?" Like, obviously, a good investigator would be a man in his mind.
It was neat to see that even through both episodes. Like, they were showing him as being that, having that chauvinistic spice to him. Like, she kind of like made a point a couple times. Oh, well, actually it was this, or, obviously she's there to make him look the fool, because she's the real great investigator,
I read everybody he meets insults him. Like, I don't remember that being a theme of the, he's kind of the everyman, and he fails a lot and gets things wrong a lot, but like, I don't remember people just being outright insulting and cruel to him. He's like, you suck, Magnum.
That was just this episode, really. Like, I think they Rick and TC were investing in something in Maui.
Yeah.
A land deal
in Maui, and they needed him to invest also. But he was they're just totally giving him so much shit, because he was like, well, okay, he's down. What was he, kayaking, or what was he doing?
Yeah,
he's like, they get him on the beach. He's got his short shorts and his tank top, and always every scene shorts are shorter than the scene before. It was just like, I was waiting for his balls to be hanging out of these freaking shorts. It was ridiculous.
Except for one scene, we'll get to it later.
Yeah. Anyway, Rick is like asking him to invest. He's like, well, I got to go to the bank and everything, and I'll have to fill out an application at some point, they said. And he's like, we just called. Like, our credit's so good. Island Hoppers is killing, but not you live with your freaking, you're like the pool boy for Robin Masters. There was no Zeus or, what's the other one?
Apollo.
Yeah, there were none of them. They weren't in this at all.
They were in it. They kept in a short.
It's terrible. So I forget. I don't even know what happened. Like, the one girl from The Great Outdoors was going. She went to some building, and I don't remember. He followed her or something. He went there. Some guy in a Camaro was following her.
Yeah, blue Camaro.
Yeah.
At first, he made TC follow them in the helicopter.
Oh,
The most conspicuous helicopter on the island.
Yeah,
he's brown like, quick, turn left, and yellow stripes. It's like, how no one will ever notice you following a car downtown in this brightly striped helicopter.
Right, you could just land on any freaking building.
Hey, it was the 80s.
So yeah,
Park
she's
your helicopter anywhere.
It's a loosey-goosey era.
Oh.
But yeah, so she was up to something. Magnum didn't believe anyone was telling anybody the truth. There were jewels that she said were fake diamonds, but nope, they're real diamonds. So there's a bunch of red herrings.
Yeah, I would like you to
they were all
explain
up to something.
any of that. Do you know what any of that was?
I mean, as I was watching it, I was kind of following it, but it didn't matter. So
it didn't make any sense to me. I don't know what the jewels had to do with anything.
One of them's leaving her abusive husband, and she has jewels, and one of them's making a deal. Her husband died, and is trying to sell a business, but not really sell it. And it seemed like it was just a bunch of extra plot just to complicate the mystery, I guess.
So he goes to some like motel in the Ferrari, and the guy in the Camaro comes there, right? Yeah, he like goes in, and I don't remember. He like messed with some door and walked away, and that guy went up there, and he really knew that the girl was in another motel room.
You watched this today. I watched it like 2 days ago. Cliff watched it 3 weeks
ago. So I have no idea at this point. Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. It was hard to follow.
Well, I think the idea was he found what hotel room the girl was in, but he didn't want to leave. He knew he was being followed.
Right.
So he just walked up to a random hotel room.
That's what it was.
See if the guy would follow. And then just got into a really weird low stakes shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like shot one bullet and just the guy ran away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peeled out in some dirt. It's all dirt. So who knows what happened next? Jessica Walters is trying to sleep with everybody. She was very flirty.
Yes, she was.
This is Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development, or the voice Archer.
On Archer, yeah.
She was very thirsty throughohout this entire thing.
Yes, she was super
with every man on the
thirsty. Well, the shorts were short back, and so there was a lot of build up. Magnum, go away. We don't need you. He's like, I'm getting shot at. I like the scene where they're in the little breakfast nook thing, or whatever. Everybody's sitting there, and he sees a shadow of a gun outside, and he's like, everybody get down. They all get down, and just like a gun comes in, and then they stand up.
Yeah,
because
again,
one shot's all they could possibly have.
Very low stakes gunplay here.
And then he's complaining, I've been getting shot at. You know, it was so ridiculous. So finally Jessica shows up. Jessica Fletcher, you know.
Like a half hour. It took a half hour for her to get here in this crossover.
Well, it was a lot of build up for that dress she was wearing. Like, I mean, she was a fancy gal apparently. Like, she comes in like ballroom attire. I was just
she had a lot of pretty blousy outfits going on. But I did notice that in both episodes they tried to keep the star of the episode there, the star. Like she wasn't in his episode much, and he wasn't in hers much. He was on ice in the other one. So basically, when we get down to the end of this first episode, the Magnum episode, he is chasing that guy, that assassin, and which I was sending you guys clips. I would like to see the behind the scenes. Like, I would like to be there the day Magnum's like, okay, I'm gonna run right through here and stutter step the corner of this pool, and some guy in 40 years is gonna say that was cool, because that's what I said. I was like, that was nice.
But yeah, for a show with car chases and gunfights, like the action, I said they were just kind of jogging.
Yeah,
little judo.
He was always kind of a lackadaisical runner. You know,
it wasn't like the most intense effort put forth by these guys.
But the show. He goes over there. That guy gets shot in the back. The assassin does.
Yes.
And then, now, did everybody see the same thing?
I was very confused that this episode did not end how the next one started.
Right. You remember that, Cliff?
Yes.
You remember that, Cliff? At the end of this episode, that guy gets shot in the back.
But I don't think it was even. I thought it was just Magnum shot him. Okay, we got the bad guy, and then it ended.
Okay, yeah. And it ended.
There was no mention of being shot in the back.
Yeah, you're right. And they ended it, and it was obvious that Magnum got the bad guy, and he's fine. Yeah, that's it.
Saved it.
And then he is sitting on the couch reading Jessica's book.
Right.
And he's got these weird glasses on, and that's what I was texting you guys about his lazy eye, because he's got a little bit of a Sandy Duncan thing going on too, and that I'd never noticed before. And you commented on that's how he could chase the bad guy and see the edge of the pool. but he and Higgins is kind of at the end of that episode. He's kind of commenting about, because he's been having the hots for Jessica Fletcher. He's trying to start something up with her, and they kind of make some joke about it, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, it was like a self-contained thing. Mm-hmm. There was no cliffhanger for the next one.
No. What it was the whole reason is because the next episode starts and that guy got shot in the back, and they say that Magnum killed him and he's under arrest and put him in jail.
Right.
Well, it's because in that week it did not have that ending we saw, because 3 days later it was the whole continuation. But in syndication, it isn't gonna make sense if they do that, and if there's not an ending to that episode.
Yeah, in an era where you can't just stream these, it's just going to play at random times on random days. You're never going to see the part 2. So that makes a lot more sense.
Trust me, as soon as the second episode started, I was like looking it up. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I just watched this.
I thought I had missed something, but didn't care enough to go check.
See, I did too, because I was all confused. I was like, what did I miss? That's why I thought there were like 2 episodes of Murder, She Wrote, and I was just like, I was so confused in the whole thing, because the story didn't match up together. So I kept going and trying to find like the missing part there, and I ended up watching an extra episode of Magnum. I think I watched an extra episode of Murder, She Wrote, because I was trying to make it make sense. Like, make sense, damn it.
But that does. I definitely noticed they were trying to keep that standalone, but I guess I didn't think of the reason why.
Yeah.
But I also did. My mom actually stopped in today to give me my fake birthday present, and I asked her. I was like, "Did you ever notice Tom Selleck's eyes?" She has loved Tom Selleck for 40 years.
I'm sure she's looked at his eyes a bunch.
I was like, "Here, let me ruin him for you." And I showed him that picture you said. And she's like, "Oh, they're not that bad." So she stood up for him. His eyes aren't that bad. So.
They're not Sandy Duncan bad, but they are. It's a thing.
Why does everyone in this it should be the cross-eyed, not the crossroads?
Yeah.
every show we do has somebody with lazy eyes.
And it doesn't seem like something that would be of the time. Like, there should be just as many nowadays.
Right.
It's a strain to freaking look down and see, you're trying to deal with your shorts. Usually we can look further down, strain. I don't know. But the next episode, he's in jail. So Jessica's on the case.
I forgot to mention my favorite gag of that one was when they were before the gun came out at the dinner, when Magnum was at the kids' table.
Yeah.
And they pan over and he's sitting at a little TV tray with all the adults
away from
of insulting Magnum. He has to sit across the room at the little kids' table. I thought that was a good gag.
Wow. I don't know what happened the next episode. It was a cluster.
So this was Murder, She Wrote, Season 3, Episode 8, if you want to go look for it. Magnum on Ice. And it said previously on Magnum PI, and it showed a bunch of clips we didn't see.
See, again, I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember any of this. Where is the missing stuff?
And then, so basically, he's in jail because he shot some guy in the back, unarmed guy, apparently. They talked a lot about 45s.
The gun the assassin had was missing,
right?
Yeah.
And the wound was in the back. So that was not part of the previous episode, but that's where we're starting to get used to it. Magnum's arrested.
Basically, he got shot with a 45, silenced 45, and then he was in jail. And then at some point in the episode, he gets someone else gets shot. I don't remember who else got shot.
Yeah,
I just wrote down shoddy police work in Hawaii.
Well, yeah. Like number one, that cop
Headline.
was a total dick. Like, I mean, yeah, he was terrible. Like, he wouldn't listen to anything, and
I don't know. You got new facts on this case? I don't want to hear him. Get out of my
get out of here. Yeah, it was just. I honestly was sitting there through the first episode, thinking, "Wow, this is so bad." Like, TV has come a long way. They the writing, because this stuff was just like the worst. It was terrible.
Yeah,
writing and delivery and on so much of it.
Yeah, it was very clunky, especially the back and forth. Like, well, what do you think? Well, I'll tell you what I think. Like, it was just not natural sounding at all.
Right.
Especially with so much plot to try to put forward about my ex-husband said this about this. Well, what about my diamond? Like, it was also bland and unimportant.
Yeah, so somebody got killed, and
Higgins. Higgins sewed a few dragon's teeth back in his day. That's a piece of dialogue that's gold. I don't know what it means. But
oh my gosh, I'm looking at that.
He sewed a few dragon's teeth in his day. That's like sowing your wild oats or something. That's who needs wild oats?
Okay, I had to get all the way to the G before it popped up here. What does sowing the dragon's teeth means? To take some action that is intended to prevent strife or trouble. But that actually brings it about. I don't know.
Because Higgins thinks he is the target. There's an assassin on the island. He's like, well, I've had a colorful past, so it's probably me they're after. I was like, wow, I don't know what that sewing dragon.
It's in reference to mythology. It says Aeetes, the king of Colchis, had been given the teeth by Athena, and he forced Jason to sew them in order to win the golden fleece.
Okay.
Wow.
Higgins would know that, absolutely.
There was some talk of Robin, like this many seasons into it, and there's still this facade about Robin.
That is so this is the one memory I have of Magnum PI. I remember watching the finale with my grandma. Okay. And it wasn't until that finale did we find out. Spoilers for Magnum 1987, guys.
This is the first time this has probably come up on the podcast, I believe. We talked about it.
But until then, we did not find out that Higgins was actually Robin Masters. That apparently, from what little I watched 3 weeks ago, that was hinted at throughout the series, and it was a constant play. Like, really, Higgins, you are Robin Masters. Just tell me.
Yeah, he could never get him to admit it.
Yeah. Right.
Well, they played it straight in this episode. I think it was Magnum. Even someone was really just acting like Robin was a real person, and I was like, guys, it's season whatever 8 or something. We know. I
was reading apparently like that. I think it said season 7 is when Magnum got kind of weird. There was an episode he was a ghost for an episode. Like there's some.
Why didn't we watch that?
There was some stretches when we got deeper into this one. But.
Somebody got killed. And they said, well, obviously, there you go. He didn't do it. He's in jail. We let him out 2 hours ago. This person got killed an hour ago.
And he left his tiger's hat lay right by the body like a terrible murderer.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yep. That was just a perfect clue. I'll just leave my hat right here. And they, and it was also 45. They were like, well, you already have his 45. Well, there's one missing. One of Robin's 45 is missing. Obviously, he went and stole it and all this. Whatever. I mean, that was the most coherent plot line of any of it. It was like the rest of it was nothing. The lady with the jewels, her husband showed up. And he was like genuine nice guy, seeming, and then you find out he's beating on her or something. He's got a crowbar at some point.
Oh, he went full crazy.
Yeah, he was nuts. Jessica Walters was trying to sleep with she tried to get some bellboy to give her a massage.
Yeah, I do remember that. I was like, wow, that's
weird.
Flipped
him a 20.
Yeah.
And he's like,
He got out of there fast.
He did. He scooted out of there. Yeah.
He was like, thanks, bye. Basically, towards the end of the episode, there was a present. This didn't make any sense either. There was like a present that Higgins carried in, or somebody, the one woman, blonde lady, carried it in, and then he opened it up, and the other blonde lady came in and was mad that they opened it, and that was the jewels were in there. It was just like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. I can't believe you opened my present. It's like, what, is it your birthday?
It's her fake birthday.
Fake jewels for a fake birthday.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that she had left the husband and took the heirloom jewelry, and the husband, unbeknownst, was broke, and he needed that jewelry to keep his business afloat or whatever. Again,
I'll have this crowbar.
Had nothing to do with anything.
But at the end, we get Jessica figured it all out. Of course, she figured out that it was Mrs. Bluth, and she goes to confront. She tricks the housekeeper into letting her in, and she's going through her luggage, and then she gets caught and said she was just getting some Advil or whatever. And I don't know what did she even find in her luggage? I don't know. Jessica's always putting pieces together that we would never be able to. Yeah. She's working on another level. But what was
was the gun in there? Was the gun?
That's what I was thinking. It was like a gun or something. So
was it? Because what's her face ends up getting she's got her gun in her purse. She gets it out, and she's like, she's backing up to the window. Meanwhile, from outside, we get a view of the no mustache stunt guy moving down the window,
shimmying across the window.
Big close up of his Reeboks.
Yeah,
and I was like, that guy does not even have a mustache. It's like, so he gets there, and of course, by the time he gets right behind Jessica Walters, it's Tom Selleck, and he's like looking in, just kind of like making faces and stuff. And you're like, okay, at some point, he's going to jump in and grab her before she pulls a gun. No.
He's going to announce himself and say, hello, I'm behind you.
This is a big thing with this time period is it wasn't a big deal to be shooting a gun all over the place. Right. It's like, that wasn't a showstopper. If people are shooting a gun, okay, yeah, that proves they're bad. It's just like, she gets the gun out, puts the silencer on. He stands there for all of that and doesn't jump in until after. It was ridiculous. And then gets in a wrestling match a little bit with her to get the gun. No mustache guy grabs it from her.
Yeah.
It was silly.
The one thing I did notice, it's funny because, going back and watching some of these older television shows, I remember them watching, what they looked like to me at that time period when they were originally on. So, very low definition, crappy tube television. And then to watch them now and like I don't even know if they're remastered, but like as they were intended in full 4K, 1080p, whatever, high resolution. Like I was like, watching those scenes in Hawaii, I was like, man, this show is gorgeous. Like it doesn't look all that dated. I mean, there were their clothes and stuff, but it really didn't look like it was from way 30 years ago or 40 years ago or whatever. So
right,
I was like, wow, this is beautiful.
That's why nobody noticed the eyeball directions, because it wasn't high def enough to know.
Right.
He doesn't open his eyes real wide in the first place, but I don't know. It ended basically they got to take her to the airport again. They're fighting over who's going to take her to the airport, and Higgins is trying to bone her, so he's like, he's mad that Magnum's offering to take her to the airport.
Yeah, was this the one that had the stuff about where Higgins was like, you can't drive the Ferrari anymore? Was that a different episode?
No,
That's every episode.
That was the previous.
Okay.
When they were having other war of pranks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it was.
A much better episode. We should have covered that one. That was a much better episode.
It was better. I agree. So.
But both episodes let their stars have scenes in bathrobes, which was weird. And both like Magnum in a bathrobe getting ready to take a bath looked like he was wearing more clothes than he ever wore normally. Like, he has this big fluffy bathrobe with like a collar, and like it's up around his, like you can't see an inch of skin in this big fluffy bathrobe. And Jessica comes in, it's like, oh dear, I'm in my bathrobe.
Then he goes, yeah. What the hell? He just like breaks into her apartment and she's like gonna take a bath. Like he almost saw
episode.
Yeah, he almost saw a nude Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah, so Jessica Fletcher's getting her to take a bath and she's in a bathrobe and it looks like she's wearing more clothes than normal.
Right.
So it's like, Magnum, you're in my bathroom. It's like, what?
But then out on the
contract,
street,
like all the stars have to have a bathroom scene in their fluffy robes.
Out on the street, he barely wears pants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he would have had like one of those like Cousin Eddie National Lampoon's bathrobes that cuts off real short, I've been like, yep, that's the look right there. But no,
actually, that kind of tracks.
Yeah, they were at whatever party or whatever, and they were doing the traditional luau dancing guys with the spinning, juggling the fire things, and it's worth the episode just to watch one guy jump on the other guy's nuts and land on his nuts, like
the fire twirlers. Yeah.
Yes. He landed square on there and then jumped back onto the guy's stomach. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, man, that's all I can say. It was weird. Yeah. Like, I did not understand what was happening.
Don't judge these shows by these episodes. Like, these were famous shows for a reason. There was some good stuff out there. There's a lot of episodes. Look up what the good episodes of these shows are and watch those if you want to try them out. Yeah.
So, okay.
We get it.
How have they never rebooted Murder, She Wrote? That seems like a ripe property.
Isn't there like a theory out there about
she's a murderer?
Yeah, she was the murderer of all these crimes.
Well, that's most likely. That's the obvious joke of like, this show ran for 250 some episodes, and it's like, how many dead bodies can you stumble across? Like, don't invite her to a party because somebody's gonna die. Like, that's the most obvious joke there ever is about that.
Maybe it was really Tom Bosley. Maybe he was the murderer.
Might have been. So. Better pick a ping pong.
Yep, let's pick another one.
So not the best crossover we've had so far, but I enjoyed it. I said I hadn't watched a lot of Murder, She Wrote, so it was nice to visit something I hadn't seen before. So let's hope the next one's a little bit spicier. What do we got?
I don't know if there's anything spicy in here. That was probably the spiciest thing we had. Jessica Walters, thirsty.
And the next episode of the Crossroads will be...
So we don't like this one.
Yeah.
Shh.
Look, I can't put this back. Alf and Gilligan.
Oh, okay.
Gilligan.
All right. We got to track it down, but I can live with that.
Was this just a single episode? Just Alf, like?
I think it's an Alf episode.
Because obviously Gilligan has been over for a long time, so this was just Alf remembering,
like dreams he's there or something like that.
Yeah, he dreams he's on the island. I think so.
That makes sense. I think he wears like a Magnum shirt. He's got a Hawaiian shirt on, probably. Oh, can't wait.
I'm sure the listeners can't wait either.
Right.
This was just something to behold. More 80s goodness on the way. Actually, by the time it might have been the 90s by the time we got to Gilligan Alf episode. All right, so we hope you'll join us for that one in the near future. We'll be back with more soon. We'll catch you later. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Goodbye forever.
Not enough TC. Like
There was way too little Rick in pieces. I expected a lot of Rick whining.
Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast, is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast, @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, please sign up to be a patron through the Podbean app or our website, www.udownwithkpp.com, to receive special content and early access to some episodes. We are grateful to anyone that chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will always remain free, so please continue to like, comment, and share.